all entitled. This settlement represents a tacit acknowledgement by the city of Los Angeles that City Controller Ron Galperin, aided and abetted by City Attorney Mike Feuer and former City Council President Nuri Martinez, who was forced to resign in disgrace, excessively abused their power. Their actions were not just legally wrong, they were harmful to Ridley Thomas's legal defense. You cannot accuse an individual, take away the seat to which they were duly elected, their health care in the midst of a pandemic, I might add, their pension and their salary, then tell them that while they are suspended, they cannot earn outside income and somehow expect that they will have the resources to fight and defend their good name. It was preposterous then, and in retrospect, it's even more outrageous now. Much of the blame for this travesty of justice rests squarely on the shoulders of Nuri Martinez, who allowed her personal political ambitions, racial animosity, and thirst for power to override good governance and good judgment. It was abundantly clear on that now infamous leaked audio tape that Martinez wanted to punish and tarnish Ridley Thomas. And she did, but she ruined herself in the process. Big Mama always said, God don't like ugly, and he ain't fond of cute. Once Nuri Martinez's toxic leadership was no more, the council quickly and correctly moved to resolve an injustice born in part by their own rush to judgment and abdication of responsibility in performing due diligence. Their settlement action this week starts the process of restoring honor and trust. In March, Ridley Thomas will finally have his day in court and a chance to restore his good name. For KBLA Talk 1580, I'm Tavis Smiley. We welcome your comments.
Look, fuck rap, I'm a street legend. Block love me with a deep reverence. I was birthed in a C-section. Helicopters and police presence. We got ops, so we keep weapons. We on y'all block while y'all eat breakfast. A lot of shots, we broke street records. Watch how you talk, I got reflexes. Watching your cheap necklace. Then we slide at the east exit. But every time we get the sub, TMZ catch it. Y'all still learning street lessons. From the mastermind, first you master grind and your team catch it. This time it's for the money, I don't need credit. And I'm the Don cause the street said it. Look, fuck rap, I'm a street legend. And I'm the Don cause the street said it. Block love me with a deep reverence. And I'm the Don cause the street said it.
And I got pressure on me. 7 days a week is game 7 on me. Life will test you out, you live through that, that's testimony. Giving them hell, but how in the hell I got all these blessings on me? Most of the girls I know addicted to social media. All the time they put in, they could've wrote encyclopedias. Mama said it only takes one time to fuck up your whole Wikipedia. And as your son, I can see the type of life that you see me in. After what happened in Nipsey, I reached out to Kendrick. It wasn't even no real issues there to begin with. Lack of communication and wrong information from people fueled by the ego. It's like mixing flames with diesel. Energy crazy, I realize that it's a two-way street. What's coming is going, if it don't give you more, it drains you.
Big block party happening tomorrow. The Merge Park. It is a welcome home Mayor-elect Karen Bass celebration as we celebrate an historic event that's about to happen here in Los Angeles, where LA gets its first black female mayor. And I think that's a great thing that we all need to celebrate. A lot of people out there who may not have voted for Karen Bass, but you know what? It's time to rally behind the new mayor, regardless of where your political affiliations lie. And this is just a lesson for everybody out there, no matter who you voted for in any election, whether it be for a representative for your district, state representatives, or state senator representative, presidential representative. You must get behind the candidate who won and petition them for things that you, even if they weren't your candidate, petition them for things that you would have wanted from your candidate if they weren't your candidate. Don't just go into opposition mode.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Without a reason. Without a reason, I should say.
I don't live in Los Angeles, but when I was living in Monterey Park, that mayor made himself very open to talking to him. And he would talk to people, and I really appreciated that, and I believe that he would listen to, people who had concerns about, different things. So I think that when the mayor listens to you and hears, what you have to say, I think that's very special, because there's some cities where they don't care.
Listen, I've already set an appointment to meet with Mayor-elect Karen Bass.
Nice.
Over a parking ticket I received.
Oh, wow.
That I would like rescinded. So listen, you let's petition our elected officials to, grease the wheels of our administration here.
Look, if you're pushy enough, they'll help you out. I really believe in being aggressive and pushy in the most respectful way possible.
Okay, well, maybe you can give me some pointers on my meeting with Karen Bass when I go to.
I definitely will, because
what do I do? What do I do? I say, hey, I got this ticket, Karen. Can you help me with that?
Yeah, but you have to come sweeter than that. Just be like a lot of compliments and.
Miss Bass, I bought you some Chilean sea bass, which is one of the greatest fishes ever.
That's bribery.
No. We're going to have lunch. I brought lunch during this meeting that we're going to have here talking about my ticket. Here's Chilean sea bass made by the finest chefs at Mastro's, because that's the only place where I go to eat. So you have
to first start out, if you get the meeting with her, by saying, I'm really excited to meet with you. This is such an honor. I voted for you. I admire you. I admire all the work you've ever done. I mean, you have to really sweeten the pot, and then lay it on thick. And then that's when you say, I'm having an issue that I was hoping you'll be able to help me out with. And then that's how you start. That's what I did. And I believe it worked. I mean, it did work, period. It worked for me.
Mrs. Bass, listen, I fought hard for your campaign. I went door to door knocking on people's doors.
You gotta say all that stuff.
I even went in people outside of your district in the hopes that they knew people in the district that you were running for, and I told them to vote for you. And listen, I'm just so happy that we as a community were able to push you over the threshold and get you into the seat of power so that you can do the good that you foresee in the city of Los Angeles. I just want to thank you, Mrs. Bass. I know I'm the only one clapping in this meeting because it's just me and you. I just want to say thank you so much. Now, Mrs. Bass, in your journey to fix Los Angeles, can you fix this parking ticket I got here? Wow. Is that?
I mean, yes. I mean,
or should it be? Shouldn't be so. Should I just leave the ticket on her desk and just walk out?
No.
And put a little sticky note. Hey, meant to pay this.
Well, I'm gonna get you the name of this show. You've heard about that judge who has a show, and he's in Providence, Rhode Island, and he writes out
I love
tickets.
that guy. I love him.
You need to bring him up and say it's worked for that city. Come with some statistics.
He's a fair judge.
He's very fair, and you say, you come with statistics. It's worked in Providence, Rhode Island. He's helped all these different people. These extra fees. Like, I'm not opposed to paying the original ticket if it's $25. I just don't want these additional fees. I don't find that to be very fair. Yeah. You have to come like that and come with statistics and facts, and then throw in that show, and she'll probably just write it off.
It's a little different, Los Angeles, Providence. I actually went to college there my junior and senior year at University of Rhode Island.
How was it?
It was phenomenal because it was just different, right? Clam chowder is just a little different.
Is it really?
It's a lot different. New England clam chowder? Oh, yeah. A lot different.
What is it, the clams? Are we eating fake clams here?
We're not eating. It's just, how about you just grow up into something and you have an acquired taste for something, and it's just like you're kind of born with it, man. It's kind of hard to
Clams
describe.
Are clams, or is it just the seasoning is different?
Yeah, but if I tell you, I got to kill you. It's a little different down there.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, things are a little different. The seafood is just fresh. It's just different.
Did you feel you didn't feel any racism, did you, in Providence, Rhode Island?
Well, I wasn't in Providence is a very diverse city. And it's funny we talking about this. I sent the link to some of my teammates.
Really?
And most of them are still out there, so they're probably listening. So no, Providence is a really diverse city, right? Mm-hmm. You have a lot of Cape Verdeans. A lot of people in Los Angeles may not be aware of Cape Verdeans. Mm-hmm. Portuguese, African mix. We have Haitians, Dominicans. It's a melting pot. A lot of Italian. Federal Hill is out there. A lot of great people there. I had a great experience, right? Yeah. A couple of things here and there. that I might not have agreed with when I was in school, but where I was in life at the time, I wasn't supposed to agree with that, right?
Right.
So in hindsight, as a mature man, maturation rate, I go back and I say, okay, they were right or I was wrong or vice versa. But I had a great time, got my degree, met a lot of great people, still keep in contact with a lot of people down there. Yeah.
You were talking about judges. We just lost a judge this week.
Who?
You remember Judge Mills Lane?
Gosh, I have to look at the picture. That sounds
Let me
super
see. Let me see.
familiar.
Referee from boxing, and he also had a television show.
Everybody goes around to break this up. This is a fight to the death.
I know who this
Okay,
is.
fighters ready? This is referee Mills Lane here, so listen
Yes.
up. I want a good, clean fight. No hitting below the belt. I expect this to be a hard, clean fight. And probably a short one, too. In this ring, I'm the king, known as Mills. Obey my command at all times. This is referee Mills Lane.
His famous catchphrase was, "Let's get it on!"
Yes, I remember him.
Yeah, Judge Mills Lane, who was famous for, so I think his claim to fame was, I want to say it was the Mike Tyson, it might have been the Mike Tyson Evander fight. Yeah, let me see if this is.
Mills, why did you stop the fight? Because of the first bite on the ear or the second?
The second one. The first one was a foul. I took 2 points. The doctor said he could continue. So let it continue. And he beat him on the other ear. I told him, I said, one more time like that, it's it. You're gone. I told them both. Knock the rough stuff up. And he bit him again. I said, that's it, you're gone.
So that was Mills Lane's disqualifying Mike Tyson for biting Evander Holyfield. I think that may have been where his claim to fame came.
Yeah.
He said he wanted to say something different in the ring, so that's where the "Let's get it on" catchphrase came from, and it kind of took count. And then I think Celebrity Deathmatch on MTV kind of made him super famous because he was kind of the referee on that TV show. So Judge Mills Lane passed away this past week. Let me see when did he pass away, if I can find his...
Was it a peaceful? Was it because of age?
I think it was just old age. I think he was just old. I think it was 85.
He lived a long time.
Yeah.
We had a lot of passings. We had Judge Mill Lanes. We also had Christy McVie from Fleetwood Mac passed away.
There was one other one. Who was the
and
other one?
then Kirstie Alley.
Kirstie Alley.
Which
Howard
was
Stern
a
was talking about this. It
shocker.
always happens in threes.
Yeah, so that was a shocker because they said, which the story to me doesn't make sense. She basically, from what I understood, found out that she had cancer and then died. I mean, unless it was very advanced and she just wasn't aware.
A lot of people, when it comes to dealing with illnesses, do not want to let a lot of people know about the illness and the
privacy, right?
Because what happens is that when you let someone know that you're sick, then you get bombarded with, "Oh, I hope you feel better." Like, people feel that they have to kind of give you their empathy, their sympathy, and it's too much unwanted attention that you have to kind of, because really it's not about you being sick, it's everybody coming at you thinking they're doing something to make you feel better, but in reality it's too much energy coming at you in a way that I don't need to be made to feel like a victim. It is what it is. I'm dealing with enough as it is.
But kind of depending on your circle, it also can help you, right? And because I remember one time I was kind of sick and I was feeling and I kind of put it out there a little bit to my intimate circle, and one of my friends is a physician, and he gave me some great advice, and it actually really, really helped me.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So that's really important to kind of be mindful of who you let know, right? Every story is not a story, but it's somebody that might be able to help you and give you some sound advice that might be able to save your life, right?
Yeah.
It's very important.
Let me see. Kirstie Alley passed away. She didn't have a big film career. I mean, first movie was Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, which we remember her in, which is weird because I guess in 1982 she was kind of somewhat of an unknown. Yeah, she just started acting and getting roles
Cheers
in 78.
was huge.
Well,
in
Cheers,
yeah.
but Cheers wasn't until 87.
Oh, okay.
So Wrath of Khan, when you look back in it, and you from like today, and you look at Wrath of Khan, you're like, why is Kirstie Alley on Wrath of Khan? But she was a small level actor at that moment. First film, 1982. One of the films I saw, and I don't remember the film it was, where she thought she killed somebody in a hotel room. Do you remember that?
No.
She was installing blinds.
Wasn't she was the co-star in Look Who's Talking. That was a
that was
phenomenal
good.
movie.
I like that
right?
one.
Look Who's Talking came later. Look Who's Talking.
Yeah.
So that came. Look Who's Talking came in 1989, but she had a nice run with movies. Was it She's Having a Baby? She was doing blinds in a hotel room. It wasn't Shoot to Kill. I'm trying to figure out what was it. Loverboy? I don't know. It was one movie where she thought she killed the guy and she was trying to get him out of the hotel.
Oh, that must have been funny.
Was it Madhouse? No, it wasn't Madhouse. I'm trying to figure. I don't even know what movie. Maybe I got the wrong actress. Sibling Rivalry? No. Sibling Rivalry was interesting. She was a big movie star in the 80s, and that's when I started going to go. Look Who's Talking 2, Look Who's Talking Now. I went to go see both of those.
Yeah,
I did too.
Really good.
Yeah, great
very great movie.
She was beautiful too.
Yeah, and she had amazing eyes.
yeah.
Though she was very gorgeous.
Let's see, was it One More Chance? I know. Yeah, there was one movie she was in where she went to go and I swear it was Kirstie Alley. Maybe it was somebody else, but it had to be Kirstie Alley, where she was installing blinds to try to give a presentation to a guy in his hotel room, and she actually hit the guy while he was sleeping. Somebody had killed him already.
Oh.
So she hit the guy in the head with the blinds as she was trying to install it, but she thought she might have killed him.
Oh, that must have been funny.
Yeah, it might have been. It might have been Shoot to Kill. A man is discovered breaking his own. No. I don't know. I can't tell you what it is. But it was a great film. It was one of the movies I went to saw actually in the theater when we used to go to theaters back in the day.
Do you think that there are any other actors that are, maybe under 40 that are on the level of some of these actors that are, 60, 70, and 80? Because I'm trying to figure out who is real popular now that everybody's loving.
It's very hard to say because the game's changed.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to be an established actor with credits underneath your belt. All you have to do is have an audience on social media, and then boom, you're a movie star.
Exactly. You can be a viral sensation and then next week be on a picture lot.
But what happened to talent? Because not everybody is amazing. I like talent.
Talent,
theater.
It doesn't matter. Talent does not matter at the end of the day anymore.
I was born to
I can teach you how to look. And we got to move to break because we're running behind. Jonah Hill. He says, I didn't go to school. He was talking to Howard Stern. He was like, I didn't go to school to learn to act. I learned how to act by doing it.
Yeah, of course, I get that.
And so I know some actors are like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? They're like, I went to school to Juilliard to become an actor. Here you are being neighbors with Martin Scorsese. How dare you think you can be on the same stage as me? All right, more of this conversation when we come forward. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
We may be LA's newest talk station, but when you're punching above your weight, it's not about whether you can throw a punch. Can you take a punch? We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. K.O. And we don't black down. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, Maisha Cairo here, KBLA, live at Chase Bank on Crenshaw and Vernon for the In This Together tour with female business owners, a day of empowerment, community panels, and best of all, tips on building business from marketing to capital. Today, I was able to speak with Ola Wadibia, VP of Women on the Move. Hi, Ola. Tell me a bit about this initiative by JP Morgan Chase, founded in 2013.
Women on the Move is a center of excellence at JP Morgan Chase and our global DEI organization, where we really focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion. What's really awesome about Chase's approach is that all of our centers of excellence, and there's 7 of them, focus on different demographic groups, is that we're really focusing on what's happening internally in the firm and also what's happening out in community. So really, Women on the Move is really focused on thinking about how do we help advance women professionally and personally.
I love it. So tell me about this beautifully updated banking branch here on Crenshaw.
That was really important. A part of our racial equity commitment was to build in place for Chase. So being able to revamp this beautiful space, to be able to welcome community members. Today, anyone, nonprofit, organization, school can actually do events in our community center that we're sitting in here for free. Yes, people come inside, grab a coffee, use the Wi-Fi. It's free.
Yes, Maisha Cairo in the community for KBLA with JP Morgan Chase.
The Institute for Diversity Certification is all about the 3 Ds: dedication, determination, and discipline. Learn more about our globally recognized diversity certification program today by calling 1-800-983-6192. Again, 1-800-983-6192 or visit diversitycertification.org. As the #1 organization for certified diversity professionals and also certified diversity executive credentials, diversitycertification.org will provide an opportunity for you to demonstrate dedication to the field, determination to make progress, and more discipline to your process. Go today and learn more about the diversity certification system. Call 1-800-983-6192. Again, 1-800-983-6192. Or go to diversitycertification.org. That's diversitycertification.org. The standard of excellence, equity, diversity, and inclusion.
With one of the best savings rates in America, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Slash to be in your band.
Next up for lead guitar. You're in.
Cool. Yep, even easier than that. And with no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Sparkly and shiny and bold and bright. And this holiday season, Ulta Beauty has something for everyone on your list, even you. Because our kind of holiday is you having your kind of holiday with incredible must-haves like the Dyson hairdryer and a new limited edition blue, shimmery palettes from Morphe and Tarte, plus fragrances from Ariana Grande and more. So revel in that holiday bliss. Head to your local Ulta Beauty or buy online and pick up in store. Ulta Beauty. The possibilities are beautiful.
Less BS per broadcast. Fewer microaggressions per megawatt. KBLA Talk 1580.
Neil deGrasse Tyson is out, I want to say, promoting a book, and let me just get his latest book. This guy, I like this guy. He's a little arrogant, but I like him. You got to give him room to breathe a little bit because he is an intellect, and his intellect has the tendency to give the aura of you're stupid, you don't know what you're talking about. But he works on that a little bit. I can just tell from the interviews by giving people room to speak and grow. You know what I'm saying? He is an extremely intellectual individual. He's a physicist, I do want to say, who has a career, and he's also, building a social media career. He was on with Ben Shapiro, and we were talking yesterday about Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade's kid, as far as at what point do you allow them to transition or change their gender. And Neil deGrasse Tyson gave him an interesting thought on a conversation with Ben Shapiro, who is against the movement. Right? Would that be correct to say?
Yeah, he is.
He's one of the. He says he's a libertarian, but he often aligns himself with the conservative Republicans, or conservative right, I should say. And so there is a school of thought of like, how can you say a woman is a woman if you were born a man? There's something that.
Wow.
Right? You know what I'm saying? You're a man. You were born a man, and you transition to a woman. You should treat me as a woman. There's a school of thought that some of us are like, we don't get it, we don't understand it. How can I treat you like a woman? You are a man. You may look like a woman, but you're still a man, and you want to compete in women's sports. That's unfair. There's a lot of that going on here. Yeah. Listen to this, just a piece of this conversation between Ben Shapiro and Neil deGrasse Tyson as they talk about transgenderism.
It seems like the left is militating against the...
And you see how you started off as the left.
Of course. He always says that. That's his favorite phrase, the left.
Right. Because there's a level of intuition inside of him that is going to be opposed to individuals who think differently than him. Mm-hmm. But just listen to an intellect like Neil deGrasse Tyson, because you got to... And listen how slow Ben Shapiro's talking here also. And that's because he has to think his words out clearly before debating someone like Neil deGrasse Tyson, who is a intellect so superior to a lot of us that it would be hard to debate him just because of his education.
The advent of science, one of those areas is the area of transgenderism. The argument that is typically made by gender theorists is that gender is entirely separate from sex. You've seen the argument made that it makes no difference on average if men are stronger than women are, and that if we were to allow transgender women to compete with non-transgender women, then this would somehow not disadvantage biological women. And this seems to me absolutely ascientific. That if we're actually going to have a discussion about gender and sex, that should be based in data, which suggests that mammals are in fact binary in terms of their sex, unless you have intersex birth defects typically, or genetic defects.
I'm happy to opine on this. This only matters because today we segregate nearly all sports by gender. Otherwise, why do you even give a shit? what someone identifies with? We live in a free country, and with consenting adults and people free expression of who and what they are.
I mean, on adult level, I agree with you. I think it does matter what you teach your children.
That's what I'm saying. And so there's the matrix of what you are biologically, how you express yourself, who you choose as a sexual partner. If we actually live in a free country, as we tell ourselves, people's freedom to behave in any of those ways should not concern you at all.
Which is an amazing... Listen, we're going to continue this conversation more of this when we come forward. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
We don't try to be all things to all people. We just remain true to who we are. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The School of Art Institute of Chicago is rescinding an honorary degree awarded to Kanye West. The decision comes after the rapper has faced backlash for repeated public anti-Semitic statements. Today's Show weatherman Al Roker is back home. Roker spent several days in the hospital due to complications after being treated for blood clots. Roker, who's 68 years old, shared the update on Instagram, thanking fans for their thoughts and prayers. He's now resting at home, and doctors are keeping a very close eye on his progress. Adding yoga to your exercise routine could reduce the risk of heart disease. Researchers in Canada conducted a 3-month study of 60 patients diagnosed with high blood pressure and metabolic syndrome. They found that adding 15 minutes of yoga to a daily workout routine can lower blood pressure and resting heart rates. And that's the latest. I'm Doug Davis from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Things are a bit rough getting through Hollywood right now. Hollywood Boulevard is closed between La Brea and Highland Avenue for a special event this weekend. And on the northbound 101 between Barham and Universal Studios, we've got an emergency work zone that's got the right lane blocked off. It is jammed up from Cahuenga Boulevard. We've got quite a few work zones to look out for today in the Mid-City. The eastbound 10, the off-ramps to Vermont and Hoover Street are blocked off until 3 o'clock. In Parter Ranch, both directions of the 118 at Reseda Boulevard, we have the carpool lane being worked on.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. I sell custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters that are easy to install at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are custom-made for your windows, and I guarantee they'll fit. Don't hire a pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
WNBA star Brittany Griner arrived at Lackland Air Force Base today in San Antonio to help Griner readjust after nearly 10 months of captivity in Russia. She will undergo specialized medical services and counseling at Brooke Army Medical Center. No time frame has been set on how long Griner will be at the facility. Very important home game for the Chargers Sunday against Miami. A loss drops them below 500 and will be a major blow to their playoff hopes. Tomorrow night at 7 here on KBLA, join me and my co-host Neil Scarborough, the editor extraordinaire for Out of Bounds, the show that brings some flavor to the world of sports for 60 minutes. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. This sports report was brought to you by MVP Accident Attorneys. When it comes to your settlement, we're a slam dunk. Call 833-MVP-WINS or check their website at themvp.com for a free case review.
If you're the victim of a car accident, call the pros at MVP Accident Attorneys. When it comes to getting the maximum compensation you deserve, our team hits it out of the park. Call 833-MVP-WINS for a free case review.
Call on me, your MVP.
KBLA Talk 1580.
The thrill of victory. The thrill of victory. Thrill of victory. Yeah.
KBLA Talk 1580 wishes to congratulate Mayor-elect Karen Bass on her historic win as the first woman and only second African-American to serve as chief executive of the city of Los Angeles.
Congratulations, Mayor-elect Bass, and welcome back to unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on the show. And this is my very first interview, and I am proud that it's here.
We are proud to have you here. What do you want to say to the listeners of KBLA Talk 1580?
I want to say thank you from just, I'm just full of the love that I felt every place I went in the community. And I just want the listeners to know that I promise you I won't disappoint you. I will be accessible. I will never forget where I'm from, and understand that is my primary motivation.
Congratulations, Mayor-elect Karen Bass, holding all leaders accountable to you.
No matter who you voted for, no matter who you are or where you live, I will be a mayor for you.
We're KBLA Talk 1580. Talk 1580. Talk 1580. And we don't black down. We've got a lot to talk about.
Congratulations to Trinity Unlimited Childcare for being KBLA Talk 1580's Office of the Week. Enter your business today in the KBLA app or KBLA1580.com for the Office of the Week. Congratulations to Trinity Unlimited Childcare.
Central Neighborhood Health Foundation is a full-service network of federally qualified health care centers that serves local communities throughout Los Angeles, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties. CNHF clinics provide low-cost to no-cost, compassionate, comprehensive, quality health care, which includes primary care services for chronic disease and diabetes management, pediatric and women's services, preventive care, vision and dental screenings, COVID-19 testing and vaccines, flu vaccines, behavioral health, HIV, and substance use services. Virtual telehealth visits are available from the comfort of your home with highly qualified physicians and medical professionals. CNHF also provides peer support specialist training and help with housing navigation. Central Neighborhood Health Foundation. Your wellness is our priority. Comprehensive care built on trust and respect. For more information, visit cnhfclinics.org or call 213-536-5815 today to locate a clinic near you.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
Strengthening the Black Village is a nonprofit offering free, effective Black parenting training to those court-mandated to take parenting courses, and we're open to others. Register for our February 6, 2023 course by calling 323-804-8469. That's 323-804-8469. Visit strengtheningtheblackvillage.org. That's strengtheningtheblackvillage.org.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate loses and love wins.
Here we go. All right, so we're listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson spar with Ben Shapiro, and Ben is the first person that brought up transgenderism, and there is a, when it comes to transgender individuals, you have some who are conservative who believe biblically that man should be with woman, biological man should be with woman. With biological woman, that if you are a trans person, not that they hate you as an individual or want to depress your rights, but you should not be doing certain things. And here is Neil deGrasse Tyson giving a different perspective on the whole transgenderism. And this is one of the things I personally love to do, is take an argument like this and shoot you from another perspective that you weren't looking at. That's the whole purpose of my life. My life's mission is perspective in a different way that you didn't think of. And Neil deGrasse Tyson is saying, listen, outside of segregation of sports, who cares what your gender is at the end of the day? We live in a free country.
Nor are they requiring that you behave that way. Okay? Well, this is for their own freedoms, because we live in a free country. Now, what is unresolved here is, what do you do with sports? It's unresolved. And I've followed that closely, and I don't see any meaningful solutions to come down off of that. We know that hormones manifest differently in different people, and just the whole thing with steroids. Steroids are hormones, right? And we rallied against steroids in professional sports because it gives you an undue advantage. So and I've tried to think of what the future of sports would be in the world of a gender spectrum. And it may be, you don't specify whether it's a male or female sport. You just take measurements of what your hormonal balances are. And so you compete based on your hormones. I mean, this is thought I had. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where it's going to land.
The WNBA won't be in business for very long if that's the case.
It would just be, you'd have to find some way to compete people against each other if you still care that sports is an interesting activity.
I guess the area where it does come up in a non-sports area.
Yeah, tell me, 'cause I don't know.
So it would be, you talk in your book about the education of children and teaching children about science. And right now, children are being taught about the quote-unquote gender spectrum.
That's another thing. They don't want you to understand what LGBTQ gender spectrum is in elementary school. There's a lot of us that says that should not be taught in school. But listen to his answer to this, which is very interesting.
Which is not scientifically based. That is a theory-based idea.
No, wait, hold on. People express themselves on a spectrum. So you learn that.
That's a social point, not a scientific point.
It's
meaning we express ourselves
hold on.
Based in different languages. Is that something you teach in science class, or is that something that you teach when you're teaching language?
So whether the fact that people want to express themselves on a spectrum, on a gender spectrum, whether that fact is something you want to put in a sociology class or in a science class, maybe that remains to be determined. But it is a real fact about real society.
Well, of course, nobody's denying that people identify how they want to identify.
So
the question is, what is the relationship of that to biology? Meaning that the argument is made that trans women are women, for example. And what that seems to mean is that trans women are identical to women. Now, if people want to say trans women are not biological women, obviously that is the case. But people don't seem to want to say that, although that is obviously scientifically true. Trans women are not biological women. Biological women are biological.
It gets really muddy in this. This is the first time I've seen Ben Shapiro all over the place.
Biological women.
But where are you going with this? What are you trying to accomplish by asking yourself, is it science or is it not science? It's people in society.
But this is a perfect example of an area where suddenly it doesn't matter to say things that are just true. Like, why is it bad or wrong to point out?
I have another way to approach this. I care what is objectively true in the world as a scientist. But let me not say even as a scientist. I just simply care what is objectively true. And science happens to be a pretty potent path to invoke, to find out what is true. And so if people express themselves on a gender spectrum, and that is an actual thing in an actual society, if we have not fully explained that scientifically, that's an interesting frontier to study. If you want to say it's only sociological, then it's the purview of the social sciences. I don't care who studies it. It's an interesting fact about society that's worth learning about. To fight someone and say, it's not biological, it's just it's real and it's there.
Well,
because it's real because it manifests.
But it is real because it manifests. But the question of how to
see, he's trying to reconcile religious tenets inside of a civil society versus legal freedoms inside of civil society. And these are community-based, not necessarily law-based. And his community is trying to make it law-based instead of making it just community-based. If you don't want your children, offspring, community to understand that women can morph into men and men can morph into women, then teach them that. Don't try to impose that on the
legal side.
On the legal side.
But the legal side is going to justify them learning it, right?
But the legal side shouldn't do any of that. The legal side should provide the freedom.
It should depend on that community, because the crazy thing, well, not crazy thing, but the thing is about our society in this country, we have freedoms, right? Yeah. Freedom of speech. We have a lot of freedom, right? Yeah. And a lot of people would rather give that up so they don't conform to a certain type of lifestyle, a certain type of beliefs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So some people want to be governed, and then some people want the governance gone. So how do you please people, right?
Well, I think you keep the law out of it, and I think you please people by telling people to focus on your beliefs in your community. If your community dictates and believes what you believe, then keep it to your community, and just keep it there. Because no one's trying to go into your community and do the reverse of what you're trying to do to the outside community.
Everybody don't want to be homeschooled, so to speak, in terms of education and beliefs. Some people don't want to do that.
Some people want to progress. Listen, some people feel that biological men can transform and become women. You know what I'm saying? And we live in a society that says you can believe that. And you know what? If you want to believe that, you have every right to believe that, and we shouldn't infringe upon that. But what he's dictating is civility and societal taste as far as what should society look like and how should we teach the mass. And I think we're thinking too broad in the sense that it's not about the mass, it's about your community. If your community and your kids and the people that you know want to believe that men are biologically men and women are biologically women, then teach that to your kids and only instruct your kids to believe that. That is your right. That is your protection under the law. No one else is going to force you to change that belief. But to sit there and say, hey, to dictate to the masses. And it gets a little tricky here when you're dealing with public schools because you're sending your kids to schools and what the curriculum should be at the end of the day. You know, but Neil deGrasse Tyson is saying, listen, these are factual things that are happening in life where men want to become women, women want to become men. There needs to be some level of study, whether it be science or social science.
But as you well know, Don, as we conform in humanity, some things come at a cost.
They do. I mean, but this is
huge cost.
But I think you got to look back to the layer that enables you to even do what you're doing, which is the law. You live in a country of freedoms, and this is the consequence, whether you like it or not, of those freedoms of people being able to switch and change their gender and maybe be taught that this happens in school. I think it should be taught in school.
I do too, especially now. Back maybe 10 years ago, I would have said no, but now because it's happening so frequently, your kids need to be aware. But
I think the key is when do you start
do you start teaching? I think at this point now, you should start earlier than later. Before, like when my daughter was younger, I wanted to have that conversation when I was ready. If she was a little girl now, I'd probably start talking to her about it at probably kindergarten, first grade, because she's going to see these things. But when you talk about keep it in your community, I think theoretically that's a great idea. But then you get labeled, and don't think the trans community doesn't come after you if they find out that you're keeping your beliefs.
And they're wrong.
And that's not right. Exactly.
And we've seen that with Dave Chappelle.
Right. And that's why I'm saying, like, it's great if we could just have our own opinions and our own thoughts and what we believe and what we don't believe. But then a lot of times if you don't believe that, if you were raised not to believe that the trans movement is correct, or if you're uncomfortable, if you're still trying to learn about it, then you get kind of bullied and you get taunted and you're called a bigot or, a homophobic person or whatever. That's not fair, especially when you're trying to figure it out for yourself. Because all this stuff is, especially for older people, relatively new to us, that it's happening so quickly.
We didn't deal with all of this.
No.
That's the key, though. We didn't deal with a lot of these things.
No, we didn't.
But it was here, though.
No, it was here, but guess what?
Well,
a lot of
deal with
things
it. You're
were
right.
here. But rhetoric, right? Rhetoric and giving people platforms. You got TV. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has a camera. So we're putting things out there without the education that needs to come with it, right? You're pulling the carpet out the wars.
Well,
you gotta be careful with all of this.
Listen, when I was younger, and I didn't really understand it now, but looking back when I was in elementary school, going to Braddock Elementary School, there was a gay dude on the playground. I didn't know he was gay at the time, but he was effeminate. He always played with the girls. There was a certain level of girls that always got to play doubles. I was always jealous. I was like, and was not jealous because I wanted to play double dutch. More jealous of like,
No, he was good.
He was good.
We had a lot of guys that were like that, right? They were good, and maybe first of all, I don't want to stagnate somebody that's good in double dutch or jump rope, because I had a lot of females that were first cousins.
Yeah.
You know, I turned the rope.
Yeah.
But when you have a couple of gangsters on your street, you drop that rope
Yeah.
down. You turn and then you drop the rope. But like I'm saying, tetherball, you play hopscotch, you play games with your sisters. We didn't teach that male ego type thing. You have fun, be a kid, be a child.
But there was something about this guy that I think that these females felt some attracted to some level, whether it be like he thinks like us or whatever. And he was, and just recognize him, he was always a soft individual. And
was he ostracized?
He was not ostracized. No.
Okay, so
he was not ostracized. It was just like he got to play with the girls who did the double dutch, and I'm like, I can't play. No. And it was a little girls club out there. I'm like, so I didn't think too much of it. I just went and found somebody else to play with at the end of the day. But these kids, the bigger point is that these kids who are either gay, maybe having issues with their identity at a young age, are in school at a very young age.
They are.
And so maybe this needs to be taught because they are going to come in contact with these kids at a very young age. The question is when and how.
Well, you're creating discord, right? We're creating division. You're labeling people. You're saying, it's basically almost like a gang. This person against that person, racism. It's so much division, right? It's always a way when you do things the right way, right? Mm-hmm. Remember when I talked about love and I talked about programming, radio programming, TV programming, just programming in life, things, how you move. We move so differently now that it's stagnating society across the board in all aspects. If you don't vote for this party, I'm against you. If you don't like this, if you're not that gender, you do this pronoun. It's just so much, right? Yeah. We need a class on this stuff, right? Because we're going to make mistakes every day, and you're not going to like something or someone based on their belief, and that's not cool.
No,
that's not cool. I don't like that.
There's too much. I think there's too much.
I may have to leave. Dude, I need a passport. I may have to leave.
Listen, I want to leave. This
is not the way it was. I want to just be in the Lever to Beaver and Gentle Ben and David Banner. I'm gonna be a David Banner.
No, but here's the problem. It was simpler for us in those days. But what about the people who were gay, LGBTQ during those days?
They had a lot of issues when people, but there were spaces for everybody, right? You remember the song Jermaine Stewart, Rest
We
His
don't
Soul?
have to close, take clothes
we don't
off.
have to take. We never knew his.
I did.
Preference. I didn't.
I knew. We could tell. I think us women could tell.
You could tell.
We could tell he was
Listen, I did not start figuring about gay people. It was not a thing until maybe I started seeing it in the media. The first time I ever came up against gay things was when I worked at the Santa Monica YMCA. I used to do the front desk. And someone called and said, this was in the 90s, hey, I want to see about a family membership, but I'm not really sure about it because it's for me and my boyfriend. And this is 95, maybe, 94. 90, you know what I'm saying? So, and I'm like, oh, that's a great question. I don't know. How would that work? And I think we had other gay people on the set. I didn't know they were gay, but I think looking back now, I think they were gay. And I was like, hey, I said, let me check. I don't know the answer to that question, but let me check or let me give you a call back. And I went and asked the question. I said, hey, we have a gay person here who has his boyfriend. Can we do a family membership? And they're like, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Called them back. I said, come on in. Come on. You know what I'm saying? That was my introduction. Like, I don't care what you're what you do in your home doesn't matter to me. Mm-hmm. How you live your life doesn't really care.
But you respect people and we love people.
Absolutely.
We love all people.
Well,
we respect people.
That was the whole thing because I don't have such religious beliefs that I want to convict you for being some heathen or some type of individual.
But even if you did, the light should shine from you. Like if people respect back in the day, like, certain things you did when you went to church, right? And then if somebody lived a different lifestyle, that wasn't my point to try to convert you or do anything, right?
Well, my whole philosophy is that
I'm a Christian.
We all have to stand before judgment of God at the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
I don't know what's right or wrong. Hell, you may have it figured out. Maybe we're all supposed to be gay. I don't know. But what I do know is that you'll deal with your sins, I'll deal with mine, and I'm just focusing on trying to be a better human being at the end of the day, regardless of whatever society is telling.
The one thing that does trouble me is that there are the Christians that are like what Don said, that think it's completely wrong, and that's not fair to blanket all Christians? Because there's a lot of Christians who are like, live your life. It doesn't affect me one way or the other.
There are many different sects of Christianity going back to Christianity's inception. We'll talk about more of this when we come forward. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
Study reveals barriers to mental health for Black and Latina women in California. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News. A poll conducted by Eviteris, sponsored by Black Women Organized for Political Action and Hispanas Organized for Political Equity, found that 77% of some 800 women participants experienced some form of discrimination due to personal characteristic. More than 3 in 5 respondents have had mental health concerns for which they did not seek care. These same women reported often having had negative experiences with providers. 70% of Black women and 54% of Latinas reported racial or ethnic discrimination. Another 59% of Black women and 55% of Latinas report assumptions were made about their income and education levels. 40% of Latinas reported discrimination based on assumptions about their ability to communicate in English, while 28% reported assumptions about their documentation or immigration status. I'm Maisha Cairo, and that's your K-Black Minute News.
Leaving things half done? Not a good option. Like a half-baked peach cobbler.
A gummy crust? I don't think so.
A half-done hairdo.
All done.
Shouldn't the curls be on both sides? Or a half of a domino.
Bam! Big 6!
But where's the other half? Don't go halfway, especially with your immunity to COVID-19. Keep everyone safer this season by staying up to date with your vaccines and boosters. Visit myturn.ca.gov to find one near you. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Bring in the new year with Cat Williams. He's coming to Ontario in the Toyota Arena December 30th. And in Los Angeles in the Microsoft Theater December 31st.
I don't know what I'm going to do about this light bill. Just hit the blunt one time and see if it don't change your perception of what's important in your life. I don't know what I'm going to do about this life. Them blunts. I got 12 candles. I've been waiting to burn them.
He's back with an all-new show. It's the award-winning comedian, Cat Williams.
Just so you knew they was lying, they said some next that don't even make mathematical sense. They said there's a chicken wing shortage, but we got plenty thighs.
Cat Williams with his special guests, Mark Curry, Tommy Davidson, Tony Roberts, Daphne Springs, and Pretty Ricky. In Ontario, get tickets at Ticketmaster. In Los Angeles at AXS.com. Bring in the new year with Cat Williams.
When you're the victim of a car accident, who goes to bat for you is crucial. We're MVP Accident Attorneys, the personal injury pros. Hiring the right law firm can be the difference between a rewarding settlement and striking out. When it comes to getting the maximum compensation you deserve, our team hits it out of the park. Call the pros at MVP Accident Attorneys at 833-MVP-WINS for a free case review. Call 833-MVP-WINS.
Call on me, your MVP.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us in celebrating the season of giving by being part of the solution. As we enjoy great food, family, warmth, and well wishes in whatever our festive tradition may be, we share the beauty of the season by reaching out to the less fortunate. Please help us to help others with the KBLA Cover the Houseless Cozy Community Coat and Blanket Drive. All you have to do is drop off new or clean, gently used winter coats and blankets in the KBLA lobby during business hours, now through December 20th. All of the coats and blankets will be donated to unsheltered individuals and families experiencing houselessness. Simply bring your donation to 4434 Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, near Vernon Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. That's 4434 Crenshaw in historic Leimert Park. During the holidays and every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety net, and together we can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit of the season, the spirit of love. Make a difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
3 3-time WNBA champions, the Los Angeles Sparks, jump into their 27th season this summer with the most games ever in league history. Every seat in crypto is an incredible ticket into an experience of world-class professional basketball, jam-packed with in-game entertainment. Now is the time to get ahead of the holidays. Don't be the person grabbing a gas station gift card. Impress your fam and friends with an unforgettable experience. Secure your seats now at lasparks.com/tickets. If you're a Los Angeles Department of Water and Power residential customer, listen to this. LADWP now offers convenient monthly billing through the new Level Pay program. Level Pay helps you budget for your utility bill with a predictable monthly amount that can also include past due balances. You'll know exactly how much you need to pay each month. Don't wait. Sign up today for Level Pay by calling 1-800-DIAL-DWP. That's 1-800-DIAL-DWP.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. It's normal. With CalHope's free and secure mental health resources, it's easy to get the help you and your loved ones need when you need it the most. Call our warm line at 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
We're not for everybody, but we're for everybody. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanksgiving, man.
All right, well, bring some food. If you're going to come in here, Chef.
Chef Lionel. I tried to call you for Thanksgiving, baby.
Chef, why you don't come in here with any food?
I'm going to set up for tomorrow.
Oh, but you don't come in. You're supposed to bring us a taste. Chef, you're supposed to bring us a tasting course.
I brought one by here yesterday. A cake for y'all.
I tried to call this brother for Thanksgiving.
Did you get some of that cake yesterday?
I saw it.
I brought it for y'all to nibble.
I didn't get the cake. I want the food, though.
That's coming tomorrow.
I want the
muddy water. Y'all know about that muddy water. That muddy water. That tea is
tomorrow we're going to be a historic event in Lamert Park where, welcome Mayor-elect Karen Bass. What are you cooking tomorrow?
For tomorrow reception, we have types of like a wing bar.
We're
doing a vegan pasta with sun-dried tomatoes. We're doing a chicken salad, a spring mix salad, charcuterie.
Can I get some pork belly?
I'm a foodie, man.
No pork.
I want pork belly. I want pork.
None of that tomorrow. But they said no pork in the house.
Oh, no pork in the house.
I'm a huge
if you come to
foodie.
my pad, you can have some pork.
All right, ribeye. Can I get some ribeye?
You sure can.
All right, ribeye tomorrow. All right.
We'll have a private tay tomorrow so I can talk to you about Christmas.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because I may need a little help. And I know you're busy, though.
But I'll make it happen.
Okay.
All right.
God bless.
More of the conversation will come forward. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Around 57% of Georgia voters who cast ballots on Tuesday did so for Republican Herschel Walker. The early voting period was dominated by incumbent Democrat Raphael Warnock with 58% of the vote. In all, the U.S. Election Project says total turnout was 47%.